like 4 of them? Or is that too many?
So.
I'm gonna,
Dolls. My name is Sam. Sam, I play with dolls. Holy shit! Yeah!
Yeah.
holy shit.
You gonna take that?
You gonna take that?
Take that!
You gonna take that?
When does it?
Alright, so Pen15. That was probably slightly jarring for some of you, and I do apologize for that. But the beauty's in the chaos of this show. Covering this show can be a little challenging because there's really nothing I can cross-reference to. The closest show that I have in mind is Derry Girls. And if you haven't seen that show, it follows a group of teenage girls in the 90s who live in Londonderry, Ireland. Or Derry, Ireland. I think it's called Derry now. But it's a really interesting show. It's more sitcom-y. Follows a group of teen girls, and it's not super intimate into their teenage lives. It's just kind of, that classic, what shenanigans are we gonna do today? And it's, it's not very realistic, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I didn't live in Derry, Ireland in the 90s. I would assume that most teenagers from Londonderry didn't help burglars rob computers from their school, but you never know. Who am I to say, frankly, anything at all, ever? So, Pen15. It is a show that is also set in the 90s, but it is in the great old US of A. I would say it's a good watch for anybody, but I think us girlies probably like it just a little bit more. One of the reasons this show is so good is that it's able to poke fun at being 13, but it does it in such a way that it gives respect and recognizes that these are humans, even though they're not capable of dealing with their emotions and that sort of thing in a proper way. It's able to poke fun at what life is like in these really important developmentally overwhelming years, but it also handles them with such love and care. It doesn't feel condescending, it doesn't feel like it's mocking, or that it's creating this caricature of what a 13-year-old looks like to a 30-year-old, which, funny enough, is about the age Anna and Maya are when they star in the show, but we'll talk about that in a minute. A really good example of how to handle this in the wrong way, in my opinion, is the interview that Maya Erskine and Anna Konkle did with Drew Barrymore. I don't think Drew Barrymore did a very good job at researching the show, or I doubt she even watched the show before she interviewed Maya and Anna, because her take on the character is so insulting to me as a lover of this show. And I would have to assume Maya and Anna didn't really care because they probably love Drew Barrymore. I'm not really a fan, but I'm gonna try not to let my bias sneak in here. But it was an objectively bad take on what Maya and Anna are doing. I'm gonna try to insert a clip here of what I'm talking about.
I'm Josie Geller, and I'm going to bring out two best friends who have agreed to do an interview with me for our paper, the South Glen South Gazette.
Her moves are incredible. So when
Emma, stop.
100%. When I saw her for the first time do the moves, I was like, I can't keep up.
If you can watch that and think that what Maya and Anna are doing is an equivalent of what Barrymore was doing, you're just wrong. I'm sorry, but you are wrong. Barrymore is quite literally mocking what maybe she felt like she was at 13. I don't know. I don't know her. But Maya and Anna play versions of themselves when they were 13 in their show to an extent. And not once do you ever get the feeling that they're making fun of themselves. Hey y'all, editing me here. First of all, the audio does get better. I upgraded my microphone midway. We're almost there. But also, I do want to clarify that Anna and Maya are definitely making fun of themselves from that age. That's very clear. But I think the way that I wanted to phrase it was that Drew Barrymore's depiction is a lot more mean-spirited. It seems like Anna and Maya's depiction is lighthearted and just making fun of themselves. And Drew Barrymore seems much more just mean-spirited. I don't know how else to phrase it. I just find it a little cruel. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because obviously Maya and Anna do make fun of themselves. That's kind of the whole point. I think the nature in which they do it is a lot different. And I hope you guys can see that too and understand what I'm saying a little bit. All right, thanks. Bye. They simply amp up those feelings of being uncomfortable and insecure in your own body, thinking you know a lot more than you really do. And I think just their overall demeanor is what is so strikingly different to me. I'm sounding so dramatic, but it means so much to me that she ruined the concept so much for people who really were only introduced to it through her show. Although Anna and Maya did an amazing performance, so hopefully that had some people tuning in. So I kind of want to explain why this age thing exists. Maya and Anna were in their 20s when they created this concept of the show, and they didn't get to actually make the show until they were about 30. So the show is literally two 30-year-olds pretending to be 13, surrounded by a bunch of 13, 14, 15-year-olds depicting their own ages.
Are
you drinking?
Yeah, like just one sip.
Help me, cool.
Anna, you take a sip.
And this turns some people away and freaks some people out, but in reality, it's one of the most genius parts about the show. And it's one of the reasons why it works so well. They took a big risk doing this, but I think it was absolutely worth it. When I was 13, I absolutely felt like I did not belong where I was at any given time. I felt like I was taking up too much space in my own body, and I kind of felt like an imposter. I didn't really feel like I belonged, especially in school. And so when you think about putting two 30-year-olds in a classroom full of 13-year-olds and trying to make them blend in, you put yourself back to where you were when you were 13. You probably had a similar experience, or at least I know I did. And I have 3 sisters, and they all love the show too because they relate to that same aspect. And we can't downplay at all that the way that they act is a big part on why the show works. The origin of how this show came about was that Maya and Anna simply pretended to be teens as kind of like a bit at parties and stuff, and people remarked at how natural they played 13. And it just kind of snowballed into this topic of them basically rewriting their childhood, amping it up and making it more entertaining and digestible for a broader audience. While we're talking about the acting, I think it's good to give some context on Maya and Anna's characters that they play. Anna Konkle plays Anna Cohn, and just like Anna Konkle, Anna Cohn in the show is an only child. She comes from a more well-off family, and her parents end up divorcing, which they actually do cover in one of the episodes we're going to go over. And you see the relationships between her and her parents respectively throughout the show. They put a lot of time into creating all of those different character arcs, and they do a really good job.
You're the one that wanted a divorce.
No.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious that it's really personal to Anna because it's written so well. Now Maya, she's definitely my favorite character. She comes from a mixed background. Her mother is Japanese and her father is white. He's from the US. And her half-brother, Shuji, they share the same mother, but his father lives in Japan, and I believe he's not involved at all in the family. We end up seeing him once, but it's never to do anything with Shuji. So Maya's dad is essentially Shuji's dad too. They're a lower income family than Anna. They also have 2 kids, so that definitely has something to do with it. And her dad is in a Steely Dan cover band, so he's traveling a lot, so we don't see him much in the beginning of the show. While researching this show, I definitely saw a lot of Maya hate, which I was shocked by because she's my favorite character. And I think it's because of how well she portrayed the teenage condition. A lot of times she's irrational, rude, careless to the people around her, and overall just selfish. I'd definitely be lying if I said I didn't have some of that when I was a teen though. Writing the show must have been very cathartic for Maya and Anna because the way they treat these characters, which are essentially younger versions of themselves, they seem to have a really good connection. They were a work in progress, and they're not afraid to show the ugly parts of getting to where they are now. But that's all the context I have to give, so let's just get into talking about the episodes. I do want to preface the next section of the video by saying I'm not going to be covering the show front to back. That's something I would love to do if it's, something anybody would care to watch. Definitely let me know if you'd be interested. But for now, I'm just going to be going over my favorite episodes and issues they discuss with the characters. Season 1, Episode 1. This episode covers so many iconic experiences with your first day of school. It opens on a phone call between Maya and Anna, just excited about the new year. Maya's afraid that she doesn't look very different and she kind of wants a glow up, so she ends up cutting her hair and butchering it.
Do you like it?
No.
They got layers.
She wanted layers, and her mom ends up giving her a bowl cut, which gives us the iconic look that she will rock for the rest of the show. We also get to see the first day carpool, which consists of Shuji, Maya, Anna, and Sam. Sam is a very important character. We will be talking about him quite a bit as the show goes on. Once they get to school, it's pretty immediate that Maya gets a lot of attention for her new look.
There's like all these signs. Brant loves Maya.
Dustin loves Maya.
Dustin, what is happening?
It's happening.
Hey Maya, come over here.
Oh my God.
Come with me. Come with me.
I can't.
No.
They didn't say me. They only said you.
Whatever you did, it worked. Because Brant and Dustin obviously think you're like so fine this year.
No, they don't. You guys.
They're totally into you.
Some popular girls kind of tell her that Brant and Dustin, who are popular boys in their grade, have crushes on her. This kind of builds up, and kids end up putting posters all over the locker saying Brant loves Maya or Dustin loves Maya. And she kind of feeds into it. Maya's kind of feeling herself, feeling kind of cool, kind of shocked that she's getting all this attention. And then one of the mean girls ends up saying, like, girl, they're messing with you. This isn't real. But she does it in a mean way that is very mean girl.
Stop. This is like so mean.
B.I.S. Beyond. You did. You good.
Wait, what? It means ugliest girl in school.
And Maya is obviously devastated by this. She's embarrassed and she doesn't really know what to do with these feelings. She confides in Shuji. He's her older brother, so he's kind of like whatever until he finds out that the reason she's upset is because he called her Yujis. So Maya ends up fighting her crush, which is a really funny watch.
What are you doing?
Midget.
Okay.
Midget. You midget. Aardvark. You got an aardvark?
And Shuji, out of respect, gives her a map of the school to find the list of all the Yujis passed in a boy's stall in the bathroom. So Maya and Anna take a walk during school and they find the list, and Maya's able to cross her name off. It's a pretty sad episode for that reason, but there's also a lot of funny stuff that happens during the episode that makes it lighter.
You gonna take that? You gonna take that? Take that? You gonna take that? What? You're not your dad died? Oh! Yes! 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 Go! Go! Oh! Oh!
Sam ends up tearing down all the Dustin loves Maya and Brant loves Maya posters just out of kindness. It's really sweet. It's something that no one sees him do, so you know that he just wanted to do that for his friend. And you also see a different side of Shuji because you don't really see him as like a good brother. He's just kind of there until that moment, and it's really sweet. Anna also really shines in this episode because she's constantly saying the right things to Maya.
Nah, do you understand? Like, I'm the ugliest girl in school. Do you get that in your skull? Sorry. Like, to love me is the biggest insult. Like, that's what it means.
Then I guess, I've been insulted the greatest.
Lifting her up and making sure that she knows that she's not a Yujis. I think the first episode does an amazing job at highlighting what the show is going to be about. It is going to be about growing up and the new changes and puberty and all those fun things. But I think at its core, it's about the female friendship. And it's so sweet. They do such a good job at showing how important that relationship is to both Maya and Anna. They have lots of other people in their life and lots of different relationships, but really the only people that they go to for everything is each other. And it's really special with this age that they're depicting, because if you do a little bit older, then you have boyfriends that you're closer to than your girls all of a sudden, maybe your parents. But at this age, they are your everything. They are your walking diary, essentially. The final minute of the show is really sweet because it shows Maya apprehensive to go back into school, the place where she's terrified to be. And Anna holds her hand through it and she says the iconic line,
and like, I'll do it if you do it.
Okay, I'll do it if you do it.
Okay, I'll do it if you do it.
Okay, I'll do it if you do it.
I'll do it if you do it. They metaphorically and literally step into 7th grade together. Season 1, Episode 5. This is where we start seeing a lot more side characters. We get a better look at who the popular kids are. Run by a girl named Heather, and then she's got her friends. We already saw one in the first episode, but we're not going to talk about her. So the whole grade gets to do a charity event of their choosing. There's like 5 to choose from. All the girls swarm to the one that's listed as a model event. Heather's mom is going to give the girls hats to wear, and they're going to model the runway with an accompanied senior at a senior home. So they go a couple of times to the senior center, and the first time that they go, it's basically to like assign hats and assign a senior citizen to them.
Huh. Anna, what? I don't know what that is in your photo.
That's a fan.
It's a fan. Okay, you know, normally if you want that kind of the airbrush look, you don't keep the fan in.
Thank you for the note.
I don't know what you're doing here, Maya. You know, you almost look like you were missing.
And they end up finding out that Heather has a thong.
Thanks for letting me borrow these shoes, Heather Feather.
Duh, babe.
Oh my God. What?
So crazy. Maya and Anna want that thong. So they steal it, and then they take turns wearing it because they just become so obsessed with the attention that it's bringing them and how cool they feel. But I think the show does an interesting thing, and it shows Heather really embarrassed about the thong and kind of just not even wanting to talk about it. It seems like her mom wanted it more for her than she even wanted to wear one. So it does a good job of adding some intrigue to that side character. Even though Heather's like the popular girl, you see that she has some struggles with her mom. Her mom kind of pushes her down, so it kind of is like, okay, I kind of see where she gets that mean girl behavior from. The moral of this episode comes from one of the senior citizens that's actually paired up with Anna. She said this very iconic quote.
All my life I would grow a year older, look back and think I was prettier the year before. I never got to enjoy my beauty, but I kept obsessing over it all the time.
It's a very cliche moral to put in the story, but I think it's so important, especially for those girls at that age, to hear. Obviously, they're not going to do a very good job of taking it to heart. That's a very mature thing for a kid their age to learn. But just having that in there after the whole episode, they're just obsessed about if boys are looking at them and giving them attention, and if they're able to fit in with the popular girls. And they definitely did enjoy, I think, Rose telling them that, because you just need a constant reminder of that, especially in that time of your life. Season 1, Episode 6. This one's a doozy. As I discussed before, Maya comes from a mixed background. She is very apparently Asian. It starts with Maya and Anna and a couple of girls from school all involved in a group project. They have to talk about osteoporosis. They have to do like a video about it, and they want to do something fun, so they thought, why don't we pretend to be the Spice Girls? I'm not super into Spice Girls, but I know there's one woman of color in the group, and so they kind of push Maya to be that girl, even though she'd rather be a different one that she liked more.
Posh. Wait, I call Posh. My name is Posh and I go to Chanel.
But you look the most, like, scary.
Do you have like a sporty outfit?
Anna is very uncomfortable during this scene. When they're filming the actual video, the girls that are helping out with the project start picking on Maya. They try to get her to do things that are a bit demeaning. They try to make her play this Mexican stereotype, and they call her Guido, and they try to make her do things that she just don't make sense for the video at all, so it seems like they're just putting her down to put her down. Anna seems really uncomfortable with it, but Maya's leaning into it because she wants those girls' approval. So Anna's kind of like, okay, I'll ride with it too then. Later on that day, Anna stays over and Shuji has a friend named Evan over. Maya and Anna kind of recall what they did that day regarding the group project.
I didn't say I was Mexican, like they told me I was, and it was like a joke.
Wait. So, in this video project, you play a servant, and you're serving on your white friends.
Shuji and Evan are obviously like blown away that they didn't realize how racist that is and how mean it was of those kids to be doing that to her. And obviously they don't understand the full context because they start accusing Anna of being racist. She just doesn't understand. She's a child. She needs someone to explain it to her. But this leads Maya and Anna individually to kind of spiral about the whole situation. Anna goes through a spiral because she didn't even know racism really existed like that. She didn't know it wasn't straight up saying, I don't like you because you're Asian. And I think she also learns that she can't solve racism. It's not a problem that's going to be fixed by any individual. It's a whole new concept for her. So she starts looking up online, am I racist? And she ends up really scared that she might be. And she goes to the principal saying like, you know, we need to end racism now. And no one's really taking her seriously or understanding that she's just kind of scared at this new concept. She also ends up learning that Maya just really needs someone to be there for her. She doesn't need someone to fix the problem that she's facing. She just needs a friend. This is the first time that Maya ever discovered that people might not like her and show her in more subtle ways than overt racism. But I think this episode does such a good job of the nuance of what this means. Even though they're at such a young age and don't fully understand what's going on, you can see the ramifications of what was said and how Maya was treated and how that affects both Maya and Anna now. One of the best lines from this episode is when Maya says, "You'll never understand what it's like to be me." She doesn't fully understand her Japanese side, and I think that makes it all the worse for someone like Anna to point out that she is Asian, and that's okay. So they end up consoling each other and coming to an understanding by just talking. Neither of them were trying to hurt anyone. They were just confused and lost.
I can't believe you fucking did that.
I was trying to help.
By telling everyone I'm Asian?
They already freaking know. Am I right?
Duh, like I know I'm Asian, but I'm more than that.
I know, and that's what I was trying to say. Like,
yeah.
You just shouldn't hide it, and I just thought that I was celebrating your heritage.
That is so easy for you to say. You don't know what it's like to be me.
You're right, I don't. You're right.
Okay, and I want to choose which Spice Girl I'm gonna be.
I know, you should.
I don't want to punch you.
I don't want you to punch me either.
This episode is so good. There are so many good lessons to learn. And I think when Maya talks to Anna about how she'll never understand her situation, it also kind of points to us, the viewer, because everyone's background and everyone's experience and point of view is so unique. I think also confiding in Shuji, even though he kind of misled her a little bit, I think just being able to talk to him about it did help. Really good episode. Season 1, episode 9. This episode also very near and dear to my heart because I went through a very similar experience to what this episode is. So Anna's parents are struggling. So they set up a couples retreat, and while they're there, Anna gets to go to Maya's house during the school week. This is obviously huge. It's a big experience for both of them. They're very excited. And when Anna gets there, they're just having the time of their lives. It shows how hyped they are and how everything is like the most fun that they've ever had just because it's on a weeknight. But pretty shortly after the happiness of it all, we get kind of brought down to reality. Anna starts getting a little too comfortable. She starts helping out with dishes. She helps her mom cook. She gets close to Maya's family, which you'd expect Maya to be happy about. But obviously she's a kid and she feels jealous.
That's actually different than your mom wants it to be cut.
I know how my mom wants her tomatoes cut, Anna. That works.
Not really. It looks...
If you can't use that, then you can't really use anything. I don't really understand.
Shh. Jeez.
Okay. What do I do with the end slice?
The feeling of jealousy is very prevalent in this episode. This is what Maya has, and seeing what she has through Anna is hard for her because it's hers. And I think it shows like they are still kids. Even though they're learning new things and having their firsts of whatever it is, they're still very much children and they feel very possessive over their parents especially. So we start seeing them kind of snip at each other, you know, normal sort of kid things. All the while, Anna is really struggling internally with not understanding what's going on with her parents. She loves being around Maya's parents. It's very obvious. She feels very welcomed by them, and it's also pretty obvious throughout the show that Anna really craves the approval of adults. Any interaction she has with adults, she is so polite. She says all the right things, and it just begs to question if her parents ever give her that approval that she's seeking, or if she has to find it through other adults in her life. Anna actually does something pretty drastic. Her and Maya are in a fight at school. They're just being snippy at each other. The teacher separates them, and Anna, just out of a cry for help, basically staples her finger and tells Maya, "I'm hurt." Both obviously physically, but also emotionally. She's hurt and she needs help. Maya just kind of brushes this off because she's just really annoyed with her. And when Maya gets home, it all just kind of culminates in them separating. Just saying, like, we don't want to be by each other right now. It's really Maya who didn't want to be near Anna. Anna is kind of wishing Maya would ask her, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" But it just doesn't come. So Anna gets close with her mom, and it's to be expected that Anna is confiding in her mom about everything. But Maya is so wrapped up in her own feelings at the moment that all she sees is Anna trying to steal her mom from her. Which is such a funny way to look at the situation because it shows how self-absorbed we are at that age. And I went through something so similar watching this. It's one of my comfort episodes. I know it so well. I have like no notes on this episode because I know it front to back. I went through this exact same thing and I was Maya. So anyways, towards the end of the episode, we see Maya fully come to terms with the fact that she wants Anna out. She doesn't want Anna there anymore. She's not welcomed. At this point, Maya's mother is brushing Anna's hair, giving her some Oreos. She's coddling her. She's treating her as if she were her own kid. It's very sweet. But Maya, she blows up.
What's going on here? This is getting like really weird. Like, you have your own family. Can you go back to your own family?
Don't be so rude, Maya.
No, I'm sick of her being here at my house. Like, you're stretching out my PJs, Anna.
Maya, stop acting like a baby.
Oh my god, I guess that's my parents.
Okay, I'm sorry, Anna.
Oh, I get it. Thank you.
Her parents got there to pick her up, and so she left. Maya obviously felt like immediate guilt from this. She didn't want to hurt her friend, but she's dealing with emotions that she doesn't even understand. She doesn't know why she's feeling this way. So Anna leaves, and her parents have this really tough conversation with her that they're getting a divorce.
I don't know how to say this. I hate to tell you this, but we're getting a divorce. The retreat helped us realize that it's the right thing to do.
Anna tries to call Maya, but Maya had a really intense heart-to-heart with her mom about growing up. And what led her to have this conversation with her mom is she started her period that night. And while I do like that they slipped it in there, I also don't, because I feel like at that age, it is hard because you're dealing with hormones that are now affecting the way you feel. You're also feeling the after effects of being a child, but also growing, so you have to not be so immature about things, and you have to own up to things, you know, mistakes you make and grow from them. It's actually a really hard time of your life because you still have these feelings of jealousy and you need to grow out of those emotions and look at someone other than yourself. You also have these hormones that are interfering with how you feel. So it's just this whirlwind of different factors affecting what you're feeling, and it's normal to feel that way, and it's normal to feel a little selfish, especially about your family. And although it's not okay to treat other people like that, I don't think it needed to be justified with the start of her menstrual cycle. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think it was a bad call by any means, but I think it would have meant just as much if she hadn't started her period. And also it was her first period too, so like, you know, that's why it was like a big deal. So Anna ended up confiding in Heather, the mean girl from a couple episodes ago, because her parents are divorced, and since Maya wasn't answering the phone, she needed someone to talk to, and Heather picked up. So yeah, that episode was a whirlwind. It ended with Anna's parents getting divorced, Maya starting her period, and it's really sad, the conversation between Anna and her parents. Watching it and the way they directed it, it was really, I cried, I'm not gonna lie. You can see how differently Anna views the world after that, and how it is an earth-shattering moment for her. Nothing will ever be the same, and you get that theme of it kind of feeling like it's her fault again, and it's very sad, and she doesn't understand it. So we're going to just go right into episode 10 because it's relevant, and it's a great episode. So it begins in school. Maya kind of approaches Anna and apologizes and lets her know that, you know, she's going through stuff. But Anna is kind of like resistant to that, obviously, because she's like, well, I'm also going through stuff that you don't even know about. And she goes over to Heather, the popular girl, and Heather just kind of embraces her. It's a sweet scene because she seems very like authentically there for Anna. They talk about Anna's parents' divorce, and this completely blindsides Maya, who had absolutely no idea that that was happening because the night prior, when Anna tried to call her, she was asleep. So she's upset. Of course, it's not okay for her to be upset and take it out on Anna, but at the same time, she doesn't understand. And she comes from a non-broken home, so it's hard for her to fully grasp what that is like for her. So through the episode, we see this resistance between Anna and Maya because they both aren't fully letting each other know how they feel and their full experiences from the couple days prior to this day. And on top of all that, they're coming to like the end of the year dance for their school. So you have the emotions of just being excited for this dance while also dealing with the fact that you and your best friend are in like a major fight and it's not going to be as fun because you're not going to be in it together. Anna gets invited to take pictures at the popular girl's house, and so she plans on doing both, taking pictures with Heather and her friends and also with her regular friends and Maya. This is really obviously annoying to Maya. She can't really articulate why she feels so upset about it, but she just thinks that Anna is like a traitor for doing this. She's also just hurt Anna went to Heather because she would have thought that she would never go to Heather for that. And when it gets to like the school photos, they're obviously still upset at each other. And then the dance comes. While at the dance, Anna plucks up the courage to ask out Alex, who is Heather's ex-boyfriend.
Alex, will you dance with me? No.
And this shows Heather and her friends' true colors to Anna. They all kind of say that Anna's a traitor for asking Alex out, even though Heather said she didn't care if Alex danced with another girl. She's so over him. But it's very clear that it did bother her, and they all took it out on Anna. And on top of that, Alex rejected her, so there was just a lot of bad feelings happening for Anna. At the same time, Maya is dancing with Sam, who we love. But unfortunately, I didn't mention this before, but it's very important. In one of the earlier episodes, they created IM profiles, which is like instant messaging on the computer in like the early days of the internet. And you could just have screen names and give your friends your screen name, that sort of thing. Maya met someone through a chat room, which is like really sketchy, but whatever. The internet was the Wild West back then. Maya met this guy and his screen name was Fly Miami Bro. He described himself as like he was a gym rat, super handsome, and there are a lot of funny moments with this in that episode, but you kind of see her constantly talking to him throughout the series and referring to him as her boyfriend. So while her and Sam are sharing a very sweet dance, he ends up confessing that he's Fly Miami Bro. And so the audience knew this already, but it was obviously not apparent to Maya that that could even be a possibility. She was so hurt by this and she didn't understand They both obviously like each other at this point, but they're children and they don't understand these feelings, especially because they've been friends for so long. And also, Maya doesn't feel confident enough in herself to believe that Sam could like her back, so she just kind of runs away, and understandably so. I mean, that's kind of wild to like lie about who you are, and kind of unfair to Maya. Like I said, they're all very young. They don't understand what they're doing, like half the time. Anna and Maya ended up rekindling their friendship full force after they both had their lows of the night. They found each other on the edge of the gym, and it's just beautifully shot how the dance that they made in the episode prior came back, and they're just doing it so in sync, and everyone else in the room goes away and it's just them two. And I'm definitely also going to throw in a clip of their outfits because they are so iconically Y2K. It's so perfect, so I have to show some love for that.
Serious, Maya, it's not about you.
Sorry.
It's about me because it's the saddest thing that has ever happened to me. Oh, it's fine, stop.
Come here, I'm sorry.
So in between the first and second half of season 2, they had this animated episode, and I kind of want to just touch on it real quick. Even though it's not in order, because I'm going to touch on some episodes before it, it really doesn't matter because the order of this specific animated episode doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. I just wanted to shout out this episode because I love it so much. The animation is so simple, and it does a really good job of shining a light on things when they're necessary. And I feel like they couldn't have done this episode in live action because it's kind of a scary episode, to be honest. The premise of the episode is Anna's dad takes her and Maya to Florida for spring break. While on the trip, one of the funnier gags in the beginning is how when you're on a vacation, $50 doesn't take you very far. They wanted to buy like 3 umbrellas for no reason, and it like almost was all their money, so they decided to not get anything and get caricatures of themselves instead.
Don't move.
Anna, don't move.
Why not?
Take a look.
This is just so genius because they didn't understand what caricatures were necessarily, so when they received them, Anna had a very large nose and Maya had a very round face. It hit them so hard because these are big insecurities of theirs, and it was now just fully there, like, hey, I see this is your insecurity, this is it 10 times worse. And what's so cool about this episode is from that moment on, that is how their characters are drawn in the special. Now that is completely how they see themselves. Anna ends up getting drunk, which is really a sad watch because she's so young, and they almost get preyed on by this man. It's hard to say if this was real or if this was kind of like imagined, but either way, it's so scary. They end up safely back at the hotel, nothing bad happens to them, but I like the subject matter of it because it is pretty dark, but since it's a cartoon rather than live action, it's just a little less hard to watch. They end up meeting a couple boys that they never see again, but overall, it's a cute episode. There's some moments that I like, some moments that are hard to watch in a good way, as with most of them in this show. Now on to season 2, episode 3. I'm doing less episodes in season 2, just kind of for brevity. It was so hard to pick which episodes I wanted to go over because they're all really good. Season 2, episode 3. Anna's parents at this point are still living in the same home, even though they're technically getting a divorce / separated. Anna has a bigger house, so they just split the house. And there are pretty sad scenes where sometimes Anna will see them getting along and hoping that this means they'll get back together. That has to be really hard to see as a child. At this point, Maya's staying over at Anna's house, and they hear Anna's parents full-fledged fighting, scream fighting. Maya just looks at Anna, grabs her hand, and they just book it. They run into like the middle of the woods, and it's so beautiful. They take solace in their imaginations in that moment. Maya especially leads Anna in a way of forgetting everything that's happening in real life and just remembering that they're kids and they have the freedom to just imagine. And Maya takes the reins and helps Anna to forget, and you can just tell she really needed it.
So did you not see the smoke that came out of my mouth? I'm a freaking dragon.
Go again. Maya, stop! It almost caught me.
It won't touch you. I have a magic shield covering your face.
And when I do it, it doesn't work. Look.
They end up thinking they're witches or something, and they start wishing for stuff, and a really sad moment for Anna happens where she believes that her parents fighting is kind of her fault and that it'd be better if she weren't there anymore.
What do we wish for? Rah, rah, ree. Go, Maya. Go, Anna, go. Maya. I wish for blonde hair. I wish I wasn't a problem. I wish for a bigger house and no body hair. Only one at a time.
It just shows how she's able to be so vulnerable with her deepest, darkest thoughts with Maya. The cinematography is just so breathtaking in that scene particularly, because while they're imagining and they're dreaming of what could be if their imagination was real, the light shines in an almost dreamlike way. And I feel like when I think of my memories with friends as a kid, that is what it looks like. It doesn't feel like real life, it felt like a faraway, distant dreamland. Season 2, episodes 6 and 7. Anna and Maya are both in a school play production. Anna is on the tech side where they do the lights and the sound effects and that sort of thing. Maya is one of the actors, which is also kind of different because Maya is usually not as like artistically gifted as Anna is. Anna's a great singer and she's really good at playing, I think, the French trombone or something. The French horn, not the French trombone. But anyways, it's so funny how they get it so right. They get the theater kid complex so right. Fun fact, Maya Erskine's husband plays the drama teacher, which I thought was like a really funny cameo. But the rift and the professionalism that the tech side shows versus like the happy-go-lucky, I'm here because I'm a star side that the actor side shows, it's so funny.
The actors are going to be so fucking excited to step onto stage. They're going to walk around barefoot. But there are nails, there's sawdust. This is not a playground. You own the space. Don't let the...
Wait, this is crazy. This is like so big. In the spotlight. Turn that up. Everybody say.
Places for the top back one. Please, can you do that and put your shoes on?
I did drama in high school and I was on like the acting side, and we did have majorly big heads. We needed to be humbled, and we were. It goes over Hell Week, which if you don't know what Hell Week is, it's like the very last couple of days where the tech and the drama people, they have to work together to get the show perfectly done. And for the actors, it's pretty boring because they just stand in place and have to say their lines, and the tech people have to get all of like the directions done, and it's probably really tedious for them. And Anna just kind of takes the lead here, and she's really good at what she's doing. She gets so pissed off at all of them, especially Maya, because she just can't be bothered to do things correctly. It is just so funny to watch them butt heads. So they're kind of in a rift because of all of that.
Hey.
Hey.
I didn't hear from you last night.
If you don't find your light, the whole thing's gonna go wacko, so.
Okay, do you know how many lines I have to remember right now?
422, congratulations. Find your light.
The light will find me, Anna. Like, seriously. Honestly, all you have to do right now is just, like, pet me up. Like, pet me up. Just say, like, break a leg, whatever. What? You haven't said that once to me.
Your feelings are valid, so are mine.
Just hold each other's hand and say, I'm sorry.
I'm not ready right now.
Well, I'm not really ready for it either. I was honestly just saying it because I thought it was the right thing to do.
Maya's also dating Gabe. He's in their friend group and one of Sam's really close friends, so there's like that drama going on. He refuses to kiss her, and I mean, it's not really super important, but he ends up being gay. Poor Maya. It's so special to show this little pocket of being a kid because I think it was really interesting of them to add the whole theatrical side to it. My favorite scene from the episode is where they have this beautiful music playing over showing this weird choreographed number that the actors do as well as the tech people, and it's supposed to symbolize them working together. And it's so cute because it's how it feels. It feels like you're all working together to put together this masterpiece masterpiece, even if it's horrible. You're young, you're dipping your toes into the creative field, and you're just expressing yourself, but as part of a team. You know, there's structure to it. I think this is one of the first moments where, you know, you come together with a bunch of your peers and you work hard to create something that you're passionate about. So it's a really cute moment. Another aspect of these episodes is Anna's relationship with her mother and her father, respectively. At this point, her parents have completely split up. Her mother's in the house, her father's in an apartment. This is really hard for Anna for obvious reasons, but she has a lot of resentment towards her mother.
Give me a hug.
You know what? I don't want a hug. I don't want a hug. I'm like,
You look beautiful, sweetie.
And she's kind of more on her father's side. She's usually on his side when they get in arguments. If she's going to pick a fight, it's usually with her mom. And in the beginning of the show, you could kind of understand why her mom was really irrational, seemed to just not be aware that what she did affected Anna, and you don't root for her at all. But then I think we sort of see more of her mother's side and her frustrations as her father seems blissfully ignorant to how his actions affect Anna and his ex-wife, but in a different way and less of a womanly way. I think a lot of family dynamics, the kids will side with the dad and just feel like the mother looks irrational. And I think that is such an important thing to put in a show because it is something that so many women feel. It is so important to call it out and to realize like, hey, women are allowed to have emotions even though we wear ours on our sleeve. That doesn't mean our emotions are invalid. That just means they're louder and that maybe we need help in different ways than men do. Sometimes men just are a lot better at hiding things too, and it comes out in different ways that you wouldn't expect. Like being distant, being withdrawn, which seems like what her father kind of did. He was a lot more chill, a lot more laid back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's good. I mean, in the vacation short, where he took Maya and Anna on vacation, they were out partying and drinking and he didn't even know until his daughter came home drunk. That's how detached he was with them. He let them just kind of go. And to be fair, I mean, he did check with one of the locals and she seemed like it was safe, but he doesn't know this woman, so why is he just trusting her? But at the end of the episode, I'm glad to say that her and her mother kind of reconcile things, and she is a lot easier on her.
I want to say that I'm sorry that I'm like kind of not nice to you sometimes.
It's okay.
No, it's not because you don't deserve it. And I also want to say, like, I'm sorry that, like, Dad's not nice to you sometimes. I love you. I think you are strong. Just so you know, I really do, actually. Honestly, you're so strong. You're, like, behind the scenes strong. Like, you don't even know what that means because you're not a techie, but, like, it means a lot.
Now, there's so many good episodes in the second half of season 2. I'm not going to get into them, but what I do want to get into is the very final scene of the show that makes me cry every time I see it. It has Maya and Emma sitting in, I believe, Maya's bedroom, and they're just literally dreaming out loud of what their future together is going to look like as best friends. They imagine going to the same college, getting married, having a house right next to each other, having kids, and then basically parenting each other's kids. They imagine life to be perfectly easy and with each other until they die. And it's so bittersweet because it closes the chapter on such a beautiful time in our lives when everything seems so possible and so within reach. Obviously, we're going to want to be best friends when we're 23. Obviously, we're going to have a double wedding. Obviously, we're going to want to have children at the same time because at this time, your priorities are each other. You're not thinking about jobs. You're not thinking about boys. You're not thinking about your families. It's really just each other. When you look to the future, they're always there. And one more detail, they go through a lot of relationship struggles towards the end of season 2, but what really brings everything full circle for me is Maya and Sam end up together, and it's really sweet and just perfectly satisfying ending for those characters. It doesn't really fully wrap this up, but it kind of leaves you thinking that Anna and Shuji are going to end up together, which is also really cute. And the full circle moment is, if you remember, that very first carpool scene where there's the 4 people in the car getting ready for the first day of school. Those are the 4 people. Shuji and Anna in the back, Sam and Maya in the back. It's beautiful. That is cinema. Pen15 is a show that will make you feel very nostalgic and also extremely grateful when you look back and see how far you've grown from that period of time in your life. It's hard sometimes because it's easy to mistake feelings of melancholy for feelings of regret or feelings that you could have done things differently when you were that age. But the only reason we're who we are today is because we were those people who made those mistakes at those times. It's a very beautiful show, written by beautiful people, and honestly, I just need to give a thank you to Maya Erskine and Anna Konkle for not only making the show, but making it with such love and care that I don't think could ever be replicated and will ever be made even close again. Thank you for watching. This took me a really long time. Took me a couple of months, but I'm really proud of the video and I hope you guys liked it. If you guys could comment what kind of videos you'd like to see, if you want a full show breakdown or anything like that, let me know. But until then, I think I'm gonna work on my next project and I'm not really sure what it is yet, so comment down below what you'd like to see. Thank you, bye.